Manchester substitutes number 1, substitute goalkeeper, number 5, Danny Stapleton, number 4, Gino Souza, number 19, Jake Barnes, number 7. The goal is scored for King, number 7, Domingos Perez. The goal is scored for Manchester, number 10, the captain, Samuel Richardson. The goal scored for Manchester, number 7, Victor. Goal scored for Manchester's second goal today, number 7, Victor Delgado. Goal scored for Manchester, number 4. That brings to close match day 9 of the FA National Futsal Series. Our event here at Wolverhampton Uni Warsaw campus today. Thank you for your support throughout the day.
The good win for Manchester today. What were your thoughts on the match?
So the match was hard. That we thought like in the beginning we thought it was gonna be like more easy, you know, because we play against good team Kent.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they got like they're in the last in the league, but in the first half was a tough game. We just draw like 2-2, but the second half definitely dominated the game and was a good game actually.
So obviously it was drawn going into half time. You were level. What set your team aside and to get the win today?
So basically, we train hard during the week, you know. We got like because during the way to come here, the game was like accident on the road, so we came late, so we didn't have time to warm up. We just came and changed and go straight to the game. So this was like difficult for us to go into the game in the first half. So we had like a pretty much like we didn't have pretty much time to warm up, so they were like difficult from that.
And obviously last week you lost at home. How did you bounce back and get the win today?
So last week was a tough game, you know, it was a very tough way. It was a good game to be honest. But today we focus on this game because last week was the past, so we just focus on the future and that's it. We just gonna carry on and work hard for the future game.
So unfortunately it was another defeat today for Kent. What were your thoughts and overall perspective on the match today?
Well, I mean, in terms of the first half, I think it was a really positive performance. Certainly this season, that half's probably some of the best futsal that we've played. We've created, some really clear-cut chances, and unfortunately, whilst we've been on top of the game, ultimately we haven't made it count. And then in the second half, I think we started slightly kind of off the pace comparatively. Conceded a fairly early goal due to a mistake, and then from that, I don't think we quite fully recovered. But I think again, we weigh up the first half performance very positive. Just obviously some things we need to address for the second.
And do you think those accidents, or let's say mistakes, have set you back this season and cost you a few points?
I mean, yeah, it's part of the sport. Ultimately, futsal is a game the way you need to take risks. It's a lot about individual battles, and it's not going to come off every time. I think what we need to address is just making sure that we do that in the right areas, and try and kind of contribute towards a more positive performance. But again, I think there's a lot we can take from it. Again, just kind of a hard one to take from that second half when at half time we're well in the game.
And what other factors would you be looking at to improve the team for going into the next round?
I feel like where we kind of worked well was we were defensively compact in the first half. In general we're very tight. I think what we need to address perhaps is the way that we kind of track our runners. When players eventually get the overloads, how we deal with that and make sure we cut out the second post runs, which again causes quite a few problems.